But that's what we were saying about bodies. I can't remember why we were talking about it. We've got to a point in science now that you can change your head. Right?
No, well, that doesn't make any sense at all.
It was a program on. It was done in the 50s or 60s where they stuck a monkey's brain on a stick and had it wired up and it still worked. Right.
Right. Okay.
And that was in like the 60s or
right.
whatever.
Okay. Well,
So,
to say to change your head makes no sense at all. Because if you put a different head on a different body, you're changing the body.
yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm about to say to you, though.
What?
That's what I'm saying. That I'd be more confident if I had someone else's body, because if anyone dissed it, I can go, no, it's bad, innit? But it's
What
not
are you
mine.
talking about?
Well, it's like, say,
As opposed to someone else's head?
yeah. Well,
What,
it
you'd
wouldn't be
rather-
me, would it? The head is me.
Well, of course it is. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So
the
what do you
head's
mean?
me.
You'd be happier having someone else's body? What, than your own?
What I mean is, say if you're wandering about, for some reason, there's an incident. You have to take your top off and that, and everyone's looking at you, right? And you're a bit sort of, you haven't got the muscles and that, you haven't got the six-pack,
Right.
which isn't that nice anyway. I don't know why that's become a nice thing, really, seeing the insides of you. You might as well. I mean, I know I came up with the see-through skin idea, but it's a bit weird, isn't it? You can see stuff.
No, it's the muscle in front of the...
No, it's not. Sometimes you can
It's not
see.
the-
like,
it's
not the
tubes.
outline of your
No,
organs.
you can't see tubes.
You can see tubes and veins and stuff.
Well, you can see veins.
Yeah, well, I don't want to see that. That's why we've got skin over it. Is
Well,
what
stop
I mean.
looking at naked men then.
Why
No,
you
but
keep
sometimes you can't help it because it's been hot, and like you say, there's people walking about with vests on and that. So anyway, what I'm saying is, say if some incident happened, I'm walking about with my top off.
Right.
Girls are laughing at me, right?
Why?
Dunno, they might.
Yeah, go on.
So
They wouldn't look at your body. They'd all look at your head.
So what I mean is,
Yeah.
rewind that, right, and imagine all that happens again, but I've got someone else's body.
Right.
Whose
Right.
body?
Just some fella who's died, and my body was injured, and they said, we've got a new body in. You can
Right.
have it. We'll
Yeah.
stick your head on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, say if...
They're laughing at you.
they are
laughing at the body,
They're laughing
yeah.
at the body,
Yeah.
but at least I'd be able to sort of go, I know it's a mess, but it's not mine. At least I don't have to claim ownership.
So all of this extraordinary technology that can make put one head on another person's body, so you can go, it's not my body.
No.
But
And it's not your own.
I'm not being funny though. So if you have a body transplant, right, and you're there, you're at home, naked, you look down,
Yeah.
lovely penis and a set of testicles,
Yeah.
right? What do you do with them?
What do you mean? What am I doing with them?
Well, do you like them?
Well, you wouldn't mess about with them as much as if they were your own.
But if you did mess about with them, would you feel guilty that you were messing about with another man's testicles and penis?
And it's the full body.
Yeah.
No, because they're not my hands either.
You're a genius! You're a fucking genius! So what you're doing is watching someone else wank.
Yeah. I had an email here. Carl is trying to distract attention from the fact that he is a monkey raised among humans and horses and has failed to develop hair.
It's I can just imagine him being the second cleverest in a troop of monkeys. You know what I mean?
Second cleverest.
Do you know what I mean? So
Picking fleas out of their hair.
oh, look at his little face. I'll tell you what, Heat. I'm gonna get a picture of you. Just put it in the radio section of Heat. This is what Carl looks like.
Oh, another email. Someone said, when the monkey boy went to the shops, he was naked. Where did he keep his money?
Good point. Didn't happen then.
Right. Well, I just want a quick question because I'm a bit confused. Is this show 13 because we've just done 12, or is this show 1 of the all new Ricky Gervais show? I didn't know where we are.
Show 1 of the all new Ricky Gervais show.
Right.
Is it though?
What do you mean?
Well, that's like that question that I put to you about say if like we do something wrong to this world, runs out of whatever we need. I don't know how it works.
You put yourself down. I think you do, and I think you
No,
probably...
just whatever the reason is. If it,
You are
air.
talking yourself out of a job with NASA, putting yourself down like that. I think you know exactly how the world works.
no. But just like say if we had to go to another world,
Right.
what year would it be?
Yeah.
I explained. Told you it depends, because it doesn't matter where you start, right? It depends what a year is. A year is a year because that's how long it takes our planet to go round our sun. A day is a day because that's how long it takes the world to revolve.
I know,
once.
but you can't go to another world and then start changing everything, because people are going to be a bit unnervy about being on different soil. So
But
you
it's
can't
not their
start saying-
choice. You can't go to a planet and go, we've got to speed this planet up. It's not going through the space quickly enough.
Yeah, but everybody's, you know, like, especially older people, they set in the ways, right?
I don't think older people set in their ways are going to pack their bags and go to Mars.
No, but if they have to. Anyway, that isn't the point. All I'm
What,
saying...
they're going to be moaning about days are shorter here, or days are longer, aren't they?
Well, yeah, you know what they like.
But old
Change.
people don't care. They like short days. They don't get out of bed, do they, until late? They've got nothing to get up for, and they go to bed early.
Yeah, but it's not just that, is it?
What if it's a longer day, Steve?
Oh, nightmare.
That's your point, isn't it?
But I'm talking about stationery, diaries. Everything's going to be a mess.
Right.
So what do you do? If I was in charge,
Go on.
I'd just say, yeah, carry on. It's 2007, it's September, it's a Thursday. Get on with it.
Brilliant.
I think because people are going to be...
26 hours later, with a new day, and 480 days later, it's another year, 2008. I was trying to explain to him yesterday, in a cafe, about telescopes that can see back to the Big Bang.
Why did you do
well,
that?
I was trying to explain what a light year was. Then I was explaining to him that, you know, you sit down, you put your telescope on, you're looking at a star, the star explodes, that star exploded 1 million years ago, and he couldn't have it. I was going, you're literally seeing it explode 1 million years ago, because that's how long the light got. And I started telling him that, you know, someone on another planet far, far away could be watching the 1980 World Cup final if they had a strong enough telescope, because that's how long it took to get. Look at his face. I can see his head bleeding.
I just don't... So are you saying...
Why did you start doing this in a cafe? Was it a 24-hour cafe? What were you thinking?
But are you saying then there could be an alien fella?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that just like we can see things happening in other on other planets, other solar systems that happened millions of years ago, there could be a little alien fella with a telescope watching the Battle of Hastings if he was far enough away.
Do you understand the concept of what Ricky's saying, that light is travelling at a certain speed, which means it hasn't necessarily arrived here yet?
So we could all relive history, though, is what I mean.
No, we couldn't, because we
No, but whiz backwards.
well, no. One, you'd have to travel faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, I know, but say if we can do all that...
Well, that's the big thing. You can't.
No, I know, but, you know, it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Why haven't we?
No, but we're not in a rush to do it, because we can just go back in time.
Well, but if time travel's possible, right, eventually, then it's already happened and they've come back.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, it's one of those inventions that we're not in a rush to do, because...
No, what I'm saying is, if it's possible, then it will happen, and if it will happen, it has in the future.
Yeah, but we don't know about that yet, do we?
No, but you see my point?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not that great just because you're seeing that far, because there's nothing in the way. You're looking at nothing. Space is nothing. What are you looking at? They say. What do they say? I don't know. But
If only you had a saying there at your fingertips.
what I mean is, the universe, they say it's non-stop, there's no sides to it.
No, they don't say that. Scientists have never said that. Do you feel like you're thinking in your head?
Sometimes, like then I was. But I don't know if I am, because it's got a mind of its own, hasn't it? Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, do you know, what's his face? That German doctor.
Which one? The guy that displays the human body?
Guns, someone. Guns Traven or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's pretty good. Just like the way, you know, he cuts stuff up, shows you how the body works and that.
Sure.
And have you learned anything from that?
Well, I don't. Is he a proper doctor? Because it's just that he's always. I mean, I could cut a body up. I never see him sort of put it back together. Is anyone keeping an eye on him, sort of going, well, who is he actually?
I'm sure he's a proper doctor.
Well, he sort of cuts bodies up on the telly and sort of goes, here's how like the intestines work or whatever.
Right.
And he just he holds them up, fills them with food, and he goes, look, they go fatter. And I mean, he doesn't answer everything. Like, he doesn't say, I don't understand why the intestines have to be that long. I don't know why it just can't go from the throat to the belly, exit, straight dark line down, out the arse.
You must know.
Well, no, because the way he dragged it out, and it was like miles long.
Yeah.
Pointless.
No, it's not pointless. It's
Just have a straight. Do you know what I mean? Straight down.
It's to increase the surface area for absorption. So a foot long intestine, you wouldn't absorb much food, whereas you go down, you know.
Yeah, but just have more points in it where it has to go through some sort of filter.
What are you talking about? Again, the evolution sort of worked this out for us. It really works.
I don't think you're going to improve on it. In your mind, you some kind of kerplunk style.
No, but what I mean is that's probably that long because years ago they were eating dinosaur, and that might have took a lot of indigestion or something. I don't know how chewy it was. It might have been quite fatty, dinosaur meat, and it needs to go through all that. Now we're eating like yogurt. So I mean, we don't need anything that, you know, is doing that much work anymore. All the food is mashed up. Auntie Nora, right? All her food is mashed. Right? She doesn't have to chew anymore. She's got teeth, but she doesn't need them. And that's how.
She's got teeth, but she don't need them.
No, but that's how we're
she could have her
moving on.
intestines removed then.
Well, no, but this is
That
what
would
I'm
sort
saying.
out our other problem, wouldn't it?
We're changing everything all the time, aren't we? I mean, there's some fella who was looking at on the internet, identical twins, right? They were sort of sick of looking like each other, so they were like, "What can we do?" Right? And one of the twins said, "You have my arm," right? And he had his arm taken off and stuck on his twin, so his twin's got like 3 arms.
No, it's not true.
It's on the website.
No, it's not true.
What, for a laugh? They were born, so
what,
they didn't have
no,
a
but
laugh.
just like-
what doctor's doing this then?
Well, they're old enough to sort of say this is what we want, and
No. Doctors don't go, well, if he wants another arm and I'll take another. They don't, doctors don't do that. What sort of practice is this doctor going around and go,
Dr. Jekyll.
I mean, Carl, think of what you're saying.
but
where would he have stopped? Can you put his head on my knee? It's up to you.
No, but
Sign this.
paying.
If you sign this, you may give my consent.
but we, you know, it is annoying.
What do you think these doctors sit around doing? Playing Mr. Potato? Or what do you think these doctors are doing?
Just to do as they're told.
They don't do as they're told.
They do if someone wants it, and twins sort of, it can get you down, can't it? Being a twin, because it's like...
Sorry, what would this solve, though? I thought you said he gave one of them a bigger nose or a beard or 2 front teeth to make him look different, right? Not... I'll tell you what we could do. Go on. Would you like 1 arm? Go on, what are you thinking? Well, me 3, you 1, therefore not twins.
Novelty.
I mean, you are a mental man.
But they can do it now, can't they? There's no sort of... There's no line drawn anymore. They don't go, you're crazy, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, in Saw 2, not in the real world.
No,
they
but-
don't do things like
All
this.
right, there's another bloke, right? I don't know the sort of full ins and outs of it.
Go on, you surprised me.
But what he asked for, something happened to his tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's penis.
Yeah, right. So he was at the doctor's, and they were like, "Oh, what can you do for me? It's a bit embarrassing. I've got nothing down there." Right. So they were like looking at it, going, "Yeah." Doctor, I don't know if he started like rubbing his chin with his finger or something. Looked down. He's thinking, "Got an idea. You know, you've got a lot of fingers. How many of them do you use?" The patient's like, "Yeah, I see what you're thinking." They cut off one of his fingers, sewn that on to where his tackle is. He's happy.
Well, that's different though, isn't it?
Well,
That's where they've
really
taken
different.
tissue. No, but I assume they fashioned it into more of a knob than a finger.
No, I still think it's there with like a little knuckle and you know, fingernail and that on
Well,
it.
I assure you it isn't. They've probably used the finger as a basis to then build up some sort of knob-based
No, because
organ.
if you were doing that, use a sausage. I mean, why lose a finger for?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because your finger has your tissue, your blood type, and therefore would graft near your testicles. A sausage is a thing that's made by a butcher out of offal, okay, that really can't be grafted onto any part of the human body. That's why they very rarely use any meat products in surgery. I know, yeah. I mean, why not use a sausage? You're a mental case.
But I always remember this story when I was a kid about some bloke who, a bit sad, this story, but weird. He had throat cancer, right? And his doctor said, carry on with your life, right? It's not going to be that good, but just carry on, but don't eat meat. And he was like, I love meat. He's like, yeah, but just don't, have your veg, plenty of vitamins and stuff, keep yourself strong, but don't be eating that. Anyway, he was fed up because he loved his meat, and his wife was feeling a bit sorry for him one day, and thought, I'm sick of him looking fed up and that. All he wants is some meat, for God's sake, give him some meat. So she goes to the butcher's, gets him a big piece of like steak and what have you. He can't believe it. He's like, oh, brilliant, cheers for that. Anyway, he's got the meat on his plate, just about to tuck in, and the cancer comes out from his throat.
What?
No, I know, it sounds really weird, but it's something that I was told about years ago when I was growing up.
What are you talking about?
It was just some bad illness, some cancer thing, and it was coming out waiting for the meat. It was sort of dying.
Again, a lot of your medical knowledge is from
the film Alien.
So this guy with throat cancer, okay, as opposed to it being a disease of the cell.
It was like a living.
The alien. It was alien.
So it was the animal. It was the little animal cancer.
That's why
what are you talking about?
Meat. He wasn't allowed to eat meat.
So it's sitting there. So it's actually sitting there in the throat. I'll tell you what I'd have done if I'd have had some cancer in my throat. I'd go, there you go, rid of that. What are you talking about? So what happened?
He choked to death on this thing, and the wife was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have given him the meat after all." Just
that's a bollock story.
It's all. There's loads of weird stuff like that.
There
is. Happens in medical stuff.
Well, the terrible thing is, if you got testicular cancer and you eat meat, your bollocks come out of your trousers and they're all over the plate, and you have to be asked to leave the restaurant.
The other thing that I was told when I was younger about medical stuff and that.
Who's telling you this stuff?
My mum told me about it.
Jeez.
Because she always says to me dad, because he has too much meat, and she's always like,
Remember the
feather with the, and he goes,
the troll in his throat.
But my gran, she had something wrong with her eyes. And they sort of took them out, and they were just dangling on her cheek, and she could still see through them. They were operating on her.
Yeah, you would have, yeah.
They sort of say...
No, she wouldn't have been conscious, though.
No, they were then, because it's something to do with the eyes, and it's like... No, it's no good operating on eyes if your eyes are asleep.
What do you mean, your eyes are asleep?
It's like a heart, isn't it? You want to keep them awake.
No,
so
what do you mean you want to keep them awake? What, heart surgery is blokes awake? Stop talking shit all your life.
What I mean is they don't stop the heart. They sort of...
they don't stop your heart because it kills you.
Yeah, I know. So what I mean is it's like the eyes. They wanted to make sure they were working, so the only way to do it is keep her awake.
No, it's not, because you don't know whether they're working or not. You can't see what she sees. What do you think? You can plug something in and see what people are thinking.
It was something like that.
No, it wasn't something like that.
Well, she could see. She said it was really weird. How like, you can see...
She could see her knees.
That is bollocks.
Had a good week, Carl?
Alright, just boring. It's a boring week. Because that sort of kidney operation I've had, it's just affected my life in a big way.
How are you now, Carl? Are you feeling better?
Better than what was last week.
Because last week you really were not putting the effort in, were you?
And it's your own fault. You got kidney stones, you don't drink enough water.
That's what I've been doing this week. Just drinking. You said what sort of week have you had? What have you been up to? That's what I've done. I've drank water. That's all I've been doing. If there's a water shortage in London, it's because of that. Honestly, just that's what you have to do. It's just boring. Just like a basking shark, just sort of with its mouth open, just going through the water. I'm sick of it.
Oh, he's led the life of plankton for 1 week.
Have you been able to do anything, or have you just been resting?
It's best to rest. just because, you know, your body's still in shock, even though in the head, physically, I thought I was alright. The body sort of just acts in weird ways.
Brilliant.
You know, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Like I said last week, you don't think about your body until there's something up with it. And then you panic a bit. And then you go, right, I'm going to look after it from now on. I've been given a second chance here.
As I said before, this was not a life-threatening illness or operation.
No, but it's that same thing. The last time I had it was when I nearly choked to death on the Mr. Freeze pop.
Right.
Where I had that sort of, what do they call it when you have like a second coming? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing where
I
you
don't
go,
think you're the second coming.
no, but that thing of...
If you are, we're all screwed.
You mean the second chance?
Yeah, it's a second chance thing.
Your life flashes before you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you get, you suddenly feel kinder. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, you sort of go, right, you know, that was a bit of a warning. Be
Like
good,
Scrooge?
Be good to people and stuff. Yeah, a little bit. I think it's normal.
So are you now a nicer person? You've given more generously to charity and the like?
Well, I haven't been out, so I can't do anything. I can't help anyone.
Well,
Yeah.
go online and
But
sort it
maybe, you know,
out. Donate
once...
some money, all this cash you're in.
No, I've given enough money away. Sick of it. But,
It's changed.
So he hasn't changed at all then, no.
but you've also got to be careful as well, because there's that thing of you can drown yourself by having too much water.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that balance right of not having too much and filling yourself up. And
Well,
at
yeah,
the
it's
same
that balance, right, of not dehydrating and, you know, becoming like a desert jellyfish, like a little crisp, and drowning yourself.
Yeah.
You're right, it is a balance. That's exactly what you've got to do.
I don't know how you've managed it, Carl. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
No, but
What I do is when I'm thirsty, I drink, and when I'm not thirsty, I don't.
yeah, but that's the problem with me. Whatever it is that's in your head that says you should have a drink, I don't really have one.
It's called a brain.
It's called a brain. Yeah.
It's the brain that tells you. Yeah.
But my brain's never thirsty. I only think of drinking when I'm eating. And I'm not eating as much because my kidney's weird. I don't want to put any pressure on it, so I don't drink. So now, if I have it in front of me all the time, I go, right, I've got to have that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel, you know, a bit better.
Good.
Just it's just been a long week. Because when you don't do much, it's just, you know, time doesn't whiz by.
And normally your weeks are packed, as we know, with visits to the cobblers.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like they say, innit? They say...
Following an ant.
Exactly, yeah. You know, we've got a hectic schedule.
I know,
But-
I don't
but
know how you
that's-
fit it all in.
But, you know, because I was close to death and everything,
You weren't close to death.
I've been thinking about, you know, other people who've been in that situation where they're dying and what have you. And it's weird how, like, in a way, do you know, like they say before you die, things to do?
Yeah.
I've
think
never
it's
heard that
best-
sentence before. I don't know if they say.
Well, I've extrapolated from that. What you mean is there are certain things you should do before you die. Swim with dolphins, etc.
Yeah. But in a way, because I've had such a boring week, it's been a long week. So if I was dying, don't go swim with dolphins because you'll love it and the time will whiz by and you go, oh, there's another day gone. Whereas I've been sat at home watching, you know, The Price is Right and stuff. And it's just like, oh, it's only 4 o'clock. Oh, this is dragging. So if I was dying, I'd go, yeah, it's dragging, but I've got ages more left to live.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point?
But it's really about quality of existence, isn't it, when you're dying?
No, but anyway, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Been a boring week. But what I've been doing is going on the internet, sort of learning stuff, been
course.
watching more documentaries about stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, tell me something you watched on the internet then.
the thing that stands out the most, there's this spider
Right.
that a fella got, popped it in like a little sort of bottle.
Yeah.
And chucked in 80 ants. And the spider, right, just went mental. And I don't know if the spiders eat ants. I don't know if they do. But he wasn't happy with them, that they were there. And he was just whizzing around, sort of biting them. Not eating them, just giving them a bite. And the ants would sort of just lie there, dead. And spider had this system of sort of going, right, I'm going to put the dead ones over there. And it was biting them, dragging them across, putting them in a pile, killing another one, popping it in the pile, and by the end of it, it made like a little pile of dead ants. He was just there, sort of breathing heavily, and that was amazing because I've never witnessed that before. But you don't see that happening, do you? Normally,
So you think that if people are unfortunately passing away, instead of visiting Disneyland or whatever, they should
just learn stuff. Just
Sure,
make you
get on the
think
internet and
this,
watch
this
spiders.
world is amazing.
attacking ants?
And just that thing of, last week you were saying how good ants were and how they're brainy and they work hard and everything. Yet none of them they didn't know what they were doing. There was panic going on. You watched them again, they were running backwards and forwards, and I remember seeing a programme about ants where they're meant to sort of work together as a team, and if they climb up a person's leg, that person stood on their house, say, and they're all like, oh.
There's a signal and they all bite at the
same
time.
They all bite at once. Now, if that had done that on that spider, they sort of all go on it, and when they're all in position, one of them sort of goes, no, and it bites, and then it would do some damage, but there was none of that.
But you've seen things like the Towering Inferno, where even humans panic crazily and jump out of windows and things until Steve McQueen comes along and saves the day. So,
yeah, but at the end of the day, when you're in a Towering Inferno, you were there relaxing on holiday. So, of course, you're going to be relaxed, and the shock of it's going to make you go, oh, I wasn't ready for that. I was sat here in my trunks. Whereas that ants should always be alert.
Well, yeah.
Any insect's life should always be...
Well, so for a human scooping up 80 of them, putting them in a bottle with a giant spider.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's what insects do. Their life, they never relax. That's what's weird with an insect. There's no downtime, is there? It's you wake up, you go and get the food, you build your house. That's what you do, so you're always alert. They shouldn't be sort of running around going, oh, what do we do now? That should be in them.
I love that you're annoyed at these poor ants that were bitten to death.
But also, they say they're clever. I was looking at it. If I was an ant, I would have just crawled under the pile of dead ones. Just sit under there, wait for the spider to go. None of them were doing that. They were all staying on one side and the dead ones on the other. So I'm just saying that, you're always sticking up for insects, saying they know what they're doing. They don't.
What do you mean? Where's this come from? When have I ever stuck up for insects? It's you that's follow them and saying they're brilliant and that, and ladybirds are right-handed and Christ knows what.
No, but, so I'd learnt that.
Brilliant. You haven't learnt anything.
There's nothing to learn from
There's
that,
nothing you learnt from that.
Something about jellyfish. Say, I was telling you about the sea being full up.
Yeah.
Right? How there's too many fish in it and they're all being pushed out. Then, it was saying about how the jellyfish is changing from a bit back, just being a blob, to now being a blob with stingy bits. You go, oh. And then...
No, I don't. I wonder what he read.
And
I wonder what he was reading.
Then I'll think of what other things are in the sea, how are they changing? And then that's when I might do a poem about an octopus with two heads. Because it's got me thinking. So no longer am I just reading someone else's story, spending a full week reading some other story. I've read a little paragraph, and that's got me thinking about.
And it's inspired you to make great art
with an octopus with two heads, and you just think, yeah, that would work. That's a good way for them to evolve. They've got all the arms. Give them two heads.
They've got all the arms.
And it would work, because like I've said to you before, it is one big head. Just make it two smaller heads. So it's just looking at science, looking at how things can move.
It's not looking at
but it's
science.
not looking at science. You then speculating on an octopus having two heads is of no value, is it, to anyone or anything?
But there's people out there who are bringing out books who are writing stuff like that for sci-fi stuff. And I think, why am I reading
But that's
theirs?
entertainment. Everyone knows it's not true. They're doing it to...
But they do more than just say, wouldn't it be great if there was an octopus with two heads? They then paint a world in which this octopus exists and presumably causes some kind of narrative interest.
I can do that on my own, though, without...
So what's the story of the octopus with two heads?
It's happier in the end. Everyone likes happy ending. It's got company.
But that's not a story, Carl. What? Tell us the story.
What, you made up a story about an octopus with two heads?
No, I'm just saying... I've thought about how the sea's changing. Right, what else is in the sea? Octopus. Right, what's an octopus like? Well, it's just a big head with a load of arms. Right, how would I change that?
I love this thought process.
But it's not a story. This is not a story. It's not anything. It's just some thoughts you've had. It's not...
But a story is there to make you think and have thoughts.
But what is it that you've thought? You've not... I don't see what you've thought here.
I've just thought, yeah, that'd be all right.
I know, but...
Well, like King Kong, then. That's only someone who's gone, oh, monkeys are getting better at stuff.
Yes, but it has a story, doesn't it? They go in search...
No, it isn't.
It isn't saying monkeys are getting better at stuff. That's not what it's saying. There's lots of themes, but that's not one of them.
Monkeys are getting better at stuff.
No, they're getting better at stuff. The way they try to he tried to go out with a woman. That's them moving on, isn't it? It's the monkey going, do you know what? I quite fancy her. And you know from the beginning, I mean, that is a story that you go, well, that relationship ain't going to work. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've not gone out with women who I've quite fancied, but then they smoke, and you go, oh, that's enough to put me off. Yeah. So, when a monkey's that big, the thought wouldn't even pass my mind.
To go on a date.
This could work out. Sometimes it's just, relationships aren't made for each other. Now, that for a story, you wouldn't think it'd go past page 1. Yet you're having a go at me because an octopus has got 2 heads. Which isn't that weird. When you look at them anyway, I mean, they must be the weirdest thing knocking about on the planet. I'm not kidding you. I've never seen anything so weird. And yet...
He's angry because he's not seen anything so weird as an octopus, so
it's not yet a story!
What's weird about it? What's strange about an octopus with all the things that could...
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A dog has got human eyes. If a jellyfish had a pair of eyes like ours, I probably wouldn't worry about him that much. But like I said to you, it's that way that they haven't got eyes, they're floating about. I can handle some fish. They look like us. They've got eyes. You can make eye-to-eye contact with them. A jellyfish, what are you looking at? It's a snidey thing, like I've said to you. You can see a lot in eyes. Do you know what I mean? They say, don't trust him. Why? It's his eyes. Jellyfish haven't even got any, and I don't trust them. Whereas if it had them, maybe there'd be the odd one that I'd go, oh, that one's all right.
Okay, Carl, I'm just going to throw an animal at you. Tell me how weird it is, what bits annoy you, how you'd change it. Okay? A crab.
How would I change it?
Yeah. Does it annoy you? Do you think it's weird?
They are weird. But they're at that size where they can get away with it.
Yeah, it suits them. Okay, good.
Would it change anything? In a way, what you're saying about things not working, he can't walk forwards. So why hasn't something happened? Why haven't they said, you know what, these arms are too clumsy. We need to have them so they can slot away easier, and we can pull them out when we need them, instead of clumping around with them. Because they do struggle. You see them struggling with their arms. Yet they're still here, they're still doing that, they're still designed that way.
What's the weirdest animal? So you think the octopus is the weirdest animal on Earth?
Yeah. In terms of design and everything, and if you lined everything up, say if I'd come from another planet, and everything was lined up in a row, and they said, right, we're going to give you a crash course in what's knocking about on this planet.
Yeah.
And you go, right, go on then. And you go, this is man, here's woman, here's a dog, here's a cat. Here's an octopus, I go, hang on a minute, what is this?